tools that I will be using for this weathering of the wagon is well, fairly simple really. The multiple colours of weathering powders, which we've got a reddy sort of colour here, dirty brown, sooty black and rusty orange, which are all fairly useful colours in themselves. Also got a paintbrush here and a tin of paint, obvious use there, painting things. Fiberglass pencil to wear down the transfers on it, so it's going to give it more weathered look. A small soft brush to wipe off any excess dirt or at the beginning or at the end of the weathering. And finally, well not finally, but just a fairly standard paintbrush, fairly soft. It's depicted, it's only used with when I do weathering, so I don't use it on anything else, I don't paint with it, meaning that it's always that I'm not going to have any cross-contamination for it. And now, properly finally, is hairspray. So hold the dirt on, ample amount of hold on it, so perfect for the job. Right, I'm going to get straight on with it, and this is the sort of wagon that I'm going to go for. Well, it's the kind of finish that I'm going to be going for. The very dirty, obviously, weathering. Replacement plank, and quite worn down on the transfers, or wagon writing, whatever you want to call it. So first of all, get the wagon, and take a little brush, fairly soft, kind of get any dust off it that might get in the way and ruin the appearance and stop the weathering powders from sticking properly. Then we take a fiberglass pencil and kind of rub over the transfers, which would slowly, hopefully, wear them down a bit and make them look very aged, hopefully. And try to work with the planks, so from left to right rather than up and down. And now that you've done that, you take the paint, open it. Easier said than done. And take a fairly thin paintbrush. Then you identify a plank which you would like to replace, which for me it's going to be just there. Right, there we go. Normally I would just clean it off with the white spirit, but I haven't got that with me at the moment. Right, now we just have to let that paint there dry, but as I haven't got that much time, I'm going to go straight onto the other side. But first of all, I am going to start off with a black sooty sort of paint, what about black sooty weathering powder. I don't have too much on the brush, and dabble it all on there at the top and then work down. And that there will just bring out any detail that there particularly is, which on one end admittedly there isn't very much, but all the extra helps, and little helps. Well, that's off. Then you take some hairspray, lift it up and just try not to get it onto the weathering powders, as it doesn't do a huge deal of good, and just allow that to dry momentarily. Now we take this red powder, and this I don't use that much, that's why I've got a lot more of this left, and just dab that onto the axle boxes. of axle boxes and surrounding area in. And then we take a bit more black and apply a bit more of that onto the top of the last layer. Tap that off and take the hairspray again and give that a second coat of hairspray and then leave that to dry again. Right, now we take a rusty orange colour and we apply this, not that much, all over the bottom under frame here. It's a nice kind of rusty feel to it. Then on the top half we take a bit of general dirt, muddy sort of brown colour, and dab that on the top and then work it down. And once again you give it another spray of hairspray, and then we get back to it. This time it's the last coat. This is just another last coat of black, sooty black. Take that all over it, top to bottom. Beautiful. Then with that, another spray of hairspray. Nice. Then you would obviously do the same to the other side, and also the ends. Ends is pretty much the same, but not quite so thorough. Take the black and work down. The hairspray again. You take the brown again and work it into the end. Only use how much you think you'll need. Obviously you don't have to do it quite as dirty as that. You could leave it a little bit less than that, but I decided I wanted it quite dirty. Once again, you take the hairspray, and then finally for the end, take a bit of black and work that down. And then finally give it a quick spray of hairspray. And voila, one weathered wagon. Once you've kind of got the hang of this, as it's a fairly kind of basic sort of cornerstone to any weathering knowledge, you can kind of start to move on to other things such as engines, for example. To this J94 has come up quite nicely. One thing they have to be very careful of with weathering locomotives is making sure you don't get too much on the pickups or into the gears, as it doesn't do them a whole great of good.